In the far north of Norway, one of European football's most remarkable recent stories is now being matched by a major stadium project. Bodø Glimt has officially started construction on its new home, currently referred to as the Arctic Arena. The 10,000-seat stadium is being built at Thalleåkeren in Bodø, with completion planned for the autumn of 2027. Designed to meet UEFA requirements for international matches, the arena is expected to give the club a permanent home, suited to the level it has now reached in Norwegian and European football. For Bodø Glimt, this has been years in the making. The club currently plays at Aspmyra Stadion, a ground that has become one of the most recognizable settings in Scandinavian football. Aspmyra has hosted league title celebrations and major European nights, and its artificial pitch, cold conditions, and compact atmosphere have helped build the club's identity. However, the demands around Bodø Glimt have changed quickly. Since winning its first Norwegian League championship in 2020, the club has gone on to win 4 domestic titles and establish itself as a regular presence in European competition. The stadium that helped carry that rise is now being replaced by one built for a club with much larger expectations. The timing of construction is especially significant because of what Bodø Glimt achieved during the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League season. After qualifying for the competition proper for the first time, the club advanced through the league phase and reached the round of 16. Along the way, Bodø Glimt recorded one of the biggest results in its history by defeating Manchester City 3-1 at Aspmyra in January. The club then faced Inter Milan in the knockout phase playoff round, winning 3-1 at home, before completing the job with a 2-1 victory at the San Siro. That gave Bodø Glimt a 5-2 aggregate win against one of the biggest clubs in Italy and sent the Norwegian side into the last 16. Their run eventually ended against Sporting CP, but even that tie produced another memorable night in Bodø, when Glimt won the first leg 3-0 at Aspmyra. Sporting recovered in the second leg and advanced 5-3 on aggregate, but Bodø Glimt had already made its mark. A club based north of the Arctic Circle had reached the knockout stages of the Champions League and beaten major European opposition along the way. That run also showed why a new stadium has become such an important project for the club. Aspmyra remains a special ground for supporters, but Bodø Glimt is now trying to sustain regular European football, attract players, support commercial growth, and create the facilities required for international match days over the long term. The new arena will increase capacity to 10,000 spectators, giving more supporters the chance to attend major matches while also providing modern facilities around the stadium. It is a relatively controlled capacity by European standards, but for a city the size of Bodø, it represents a major investment and a clear step up from the club's existing home. The official project site states that the stadium has a total cost framework of more than 1.2 billion NOK. Financing has been one of the major challenges surrounding the development, with the club working for several years to secure approvals and assemble the funding required to move ahead. One important contribution has now come from Sparebank 1 Nord-Norge and Sparebank Stiftelsen. Sparebank 1 Nord-Norge, which are contributing a combined $120 million to the project. Of that amount, $100 million is being provided by the foundation toward construction, while a further $20 million is coming through the bank's Samfunnsløftet program. The club has also confirmed that an agreement has been reached with the bank regarding loan financing for the project. Part of that financial support will be directed toward facilities intended for wider public benefit. Plans include accessible spectator facilities, green outdoor areas, environmental measures, and equal changing room conditions for women's and men's teams. The project will also include a specially adapted space called the Stjernelosje, intended for children, young people, and families in difficult life situations, with links to Nordland Hospital. On match days, the space is planned as a comfortable and accessible area where families can experience games together in a setting designed around their needs. That element gives the stadium a wider role within Bodø. While the arena is being built around the club's football ambitions, it is also being positioned as a meeting place for supporters, businesses, and community organizations across Northern Norway. There is already a commercial component taking shape as well. PowerOffice, a Bodø-based company, has signed an agreement to become one of the major tenants in the business section of the new arena. Bodø Glimt's administration has also proposed PowerOffice Arctic Arena as a possible future stadium name. That proposed name has not been finalized. The club has stated that the decision will ultimately be considered through its member-led process, with the annual meeting holding the final say. Until that happens, Arctic Arena remains the name most closely associated with the stadium project. There is also a direct way for supporters to become part of the new stadium. Bodø Glimt is selling personalized stones that will eventually be placed near the main entrance of the completed arena. The campaign allows supporters, families, and local businesses to have their names or messages incorporated into the surrounding stadium space, while also contributing financially to the project. For a club whose growth has been closely tied to its local support, that is a fitting detail. Bodø Glimt's success has brought international attention to a city of around 55,000 people, but the new arena is still being framed around the relationship between the club and the region it represents. Chief Executive Frode Thomassen described the beginning of construction as a defining moment for Bodø Glimt, its supporters, and Northern Norway. Considering where the club stood little more than a decade ago, the scale of the project reflects how dramatically its position has changed. Bodø Glimt now has 4 Norwegian League titles, a Europa League semi-final appearance in 2025, and a Champions League round of 16 appearance in 2026. Those achievements have transformed expectations around the club. The Arctic Arena is the physical result of that progress. A new football stadium designed to handle bigger crowds, stronger commercial opportunities, and more European nights in Bodø. Construction can now be followed through the official project website's live building camera, with the arena expected to be ready in autumn 2027. Aspmyra will always remain central to Bodø Glimt's story. It is where the club built its reputation, where European heavyweights arrived in the Arctic cold, and where supporters watched a Norwegian club push further into Europe than most would have imagined. The next part of that story is now rising at Thalleåkeren. Bodø Glimt has started building the home that it hopes will carry the club through its next era.